Hi guys, welcome back to Allotment Days. It's Sunday the 20th of March and it's time to sow tomatoes. I'm going to sow some cucumbers as well, and I'm all set up, so I just wanted to say hello, and I'm going to show you now just how easy it is to sow tomato seeds. You'll see lots of people sowing seeds on YouTube, tomatoes. They're very easy to sow. You can sow them in quarter trays, half trays, full trays, little pots, yoghurt pots, plastic beakers, anything really. They're very, very easy to grow. If anything, they're too easy to grow. You squash a tomato on the floor of the greenhouse, within a matter of a couple of months, the things are growing up. You see them growing between paving slabs on the roadside. Somebody drops a sandwich and tomato seed finds its way into the crack. They're very, very easy to grow. If anything, they're too vigorous when they grow as seedlings. As soon as they germinate, they need to be out and on a bright windowsill. But for the next few minutes, I'm just going to show you how I do it. I'm not just sowing one or two varieties, so I need to use lots of little pots, and I'll put maybe 4 or 5 in each pot. If you're going to grow just 1 or 2 varieties, then you could use a quarter seed tray or a half seed tray, and grow them in rows like lots of people do. Right, so I'll turn around now and I'll just show you how I do it. Okay, see you in a minute. Hi, so that's all I'm using. Probably a 9cm pot, if that. I'm going to sow maybe 4 or 5 seeds, and they'll be quite easy to prick out when they germinate. I'm using a Germination seed compost. I'm not using the cheaper compost that I put most of the other seeds in, because I found that was a little bit sticky. And what we want is a free draining compost for tomato seedlings, because the last thing we want is for the water to sit on the top, for it to be really sticky and claggy, because there's a risk that as you pop your seedlings out, maybe into your greenhouse, or if it gets cold, that they might dampen off and you might lose your seedlings. So I've just filled that roughly, then tamped it down, and you can see it's about a 1/2 inch from the top of the pot. And then I've got a little watering can, and it's got tepid water in, and all I'm going to do is just drizzle it over the top, and it is a drizzle with this watering can, just to settle the compost down a bit, and make it nice and moist for when it goes in the propagator. So that should be enough. You can see it's settled down a little bit. Then I'm going to get my seed, and on this occasion I'm sowing sun gold tomatoes. I need that many. Pop a few back. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll pop that one back. And then all you do is get a little bit more compost, sprinkle it over the top. You don't want too much. I've seen on some packets that they say sow to a depth of 2 centimetres, but for me that's a little bit daft. You really only need about 1/8 of an inch of compost on top, and it wants to be fine. You don't want any lumps in there, because otherwise as the seedlings come through, the necks will not be able to fully extend and they'll get trapped. And then all you do is just give them a light spray over the top. Use a sprayer just to bed the soil in, and you're not going to disturb the seeds, and that's it. Seed compost, there's hardly any nutritional value in that. The seeds themselves have got enough food in them to support the germinating seedlings for a few days. So that's it, it's easy. It couldn't be any easier really. I'm going to take that home now, pop it in the propagator, and within 3 to 4 days they should have germinated, and then we'll see the seedlings. So that's that, tomatoes. It's still Sunday the 20th of March, it's a late afternoon, you can see it's not quite so bright now. And while I'm still in the mood, I thought I'd do a little bit more sowing. It's possibly a little bit too early to be sowing cucumbers, but I've got plenty of seed, so I'm going to have a bash. And you can see in the tray there, the potting tray, I've got 8 pots. I've got 2 pots for the burpless cucumber, 2 pots for a different cucumber, a round one called lemon cucumber, 2 pots for another kind of cucumber called the Armenian yard long, and then finally I'm going to plant some bush aubergine, mini aubergines called Ophelia. I'll just show you the plants concerned. That's the burpless, that's one that we're all quite familiar with. You can see bought in Germany, seeds quite a lot cheaper over there, and you get a lot more of it. Over here, as you know, you probably get, I don't know, maybe 8 seeds for about £3 or £4 sometimes, and in this packet there's probably about 20-30 seeds, and probably cost about £1.50. That's the first one, burpless. Quite reliable, if you can get it out of the blocks, as it were, because the first couple of years I tried them, they just damped off or just suffered with the extremes of temperature, because I've not got a heated greenhouse either on the allotment or at home. Last year though, for some reason they all flew away, and I had about 8 plants and I gave some away. I think I had about 4 plants, only 3 were really productive, and they produced about 50 cucumbers, all quite big ones. So that's the first one, burpless. The second one, there we are, is a little bit like a melon. Sister-in-law's American, she brought these back from America for me. I asked her to keep her eye out for anything that's a little bit different. And that's a lemon cucumber. Grows to about 3.5 inches in diameter. Supposed to be a little bit lemony, surprise, surprise. So we're going to give that a go as well. The third cucumber, is called the Armenian yard long, and apparently this can be about 3.5 inches in diameter and as long as 3 to 4 feet. So it's going to need some support, I think, as they grow. Although cucumber plants are really strong, you know, the strands and what have you. I'm going to put 2 seeds in each cucumber pot, so I'll have 4 of each. I've got plenty left over, so if it proves to be a false start, I can have another go, maybe the first week, second week in April. Okay, and finally the aubergine, that's called Ophelia. It's a mini aubergine, will probably only be egg size or a little bit bigger than that, but they only grow to be about, I don't know, a couple of feet high, I think, 1.5 foot. So they shouldn't occupy too much space. So that's the task for this afternoon. So we'll get on and we'll sow those. Right, so it's quite easy to sow cucumbers. I'll just take 4 seeds. These are the burpless. All I'm going to do is just make a little hole about 1/2 inch deep and pop them in. And that's it, just cover them up. Easy peasy. lemon, cucumber, four again, 2 in each pot. One, 2, 3, 4, cover them up. Armenian, four again, and I have to say there are a lot of seeds in there, I'm not kidding, probably a good 30 seeds, or it says on the packet. I think these are from America. Don't think it says, but I think there's got to be a good 30 seeds in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so that's the cucumbers. And then we've got the aubergine, and these are a much smaller seed, a little bit like a tomato seed. And not many seeds in there in that packet, about 6 seeds. Should really plant them like tomatoes, but I'm not going to bother, I'm just going to do the same. Little depression, 1, 2, 3, they're all getting planted. 1, 2, 3, cover them up. They're only about 1/8 an inch deep, it's deep enough. And then give them a spray again, so they're nice and wet. And I'll be taking these home as well. I took the tomatoes home this morning, they're already in the propagator. Covered up with tea towels. I'll show you them, the cucumbers, the tomatoes and the aubergines in the propagator. And you need to check on them quite frequently, probably twice a day, otherwise you forget about them, and the seedlings are about that long when you take the towel off the propagator. You don't want that to happen. So they're well soaked. And that's that. 4 Burr Plus cucumbers, 4 lemon cucumbers, 4 Armenian yard long, and 6 aubergine. Ophelia, the variety, a dark purple variety. I like the sound of the yard long. That'll be interesting to see just how big they get. So I'll be following that, their development with interest, and hope that you do too. Thanks for watching again. Enjoy the rest of today, Sunday. It's work again for us all tomorrow. See you later. Bye. These are the 2 propagators that I mentioned the other day. It's Wednesday the 23rd of March today, and these tomatoes and cucumbers were sown on Sunday the 20th, and I've just emptied some tomatoes and some cucumbers. I shall take a look at those now, just be 1 second. Right, these are the tomato seedlings then, and to the right the first cucumbers that have germinated. Now I looked last night, that's Tuesday the 22nd of March, and there was no sign of those cucumbers. I forgot to look this morning, I was in a bit of a rush. That's Wednesday the 23rd of March, and I've just come in, had a half day, and it's 1:30, and shock horror, the cucumbers had shot up, this one here, to about 6 centimetres in length, and that's within about 15 hours of looking in the heated propagator. So word of warning, if you're sowing cucumbers you need to check on them probably 2 or 3 times a day. The majority of the seedlings or seeds are still sat in the propagator, so I'm going to have to check on those probably twice a day over the next few days, and most of them should have come through. You can see that one there with quite a lot of seedlings in. I think that's the Sun Gold. That's always one of the first out of the starting blocks. So all of these were sown on the 20th, Sunday the 20th of March. So heated propagator about 2.5 days, and they're up and they're running. Catch you later.